we're all wrong at some point, and whenever we are corrected, we learn something new, and that's exciting.
I'm not wrong if I don't know.
And that's just because you have a fear of being wrong.
I would say that's the mentality that leads many to scroll right past this live.
What? I'm not wrong if I don't know? I don't know I'm wrong. It's I'm not wrong if my answer is I don't know.
I hear the distinction. There should be, though, more of that and less of the other.
Yes. No, I agree. No, I want to know if I'm wrong. Like if I say something and I am wrong, I would like to know. But like, yeah, what I was saying was if the answer is I don't know, then it still is open to the possibility of learning, and I don't have to deal with being wrong. It's just like a minute.
If tomorrow you all of a sudden have more solidified stances, would that not be being wrong today?
Can you be wrong if you don't know? Like if you just if you ask me my stance on something and I say I don't know what the answer to this is that how could that? I don't understand. The answer to this. Actually, I have a better response.
Oh, go for
it. Can you be wrong? Are you wrong in an emotional stance on an unknowable thing? Like, is there a way to be wrong about that?
There can be.
If the thing becomes knowable?
The thing is that it depends on why you're holding on to the I don't know. You're holding on to the I don't know just solely out of fear of being wrong. The thing is that I guarantee you there's a lot of different things that you would probably agree with me about, but because you have this inkling that you could be wrong, you're afraid to actually say that you do agree with me about, and therefore it keeps you in the I don't know.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that it's not a fear of being wrong. It's that if I take a stance on the thing, that feels like it shuts the door on it. And there's a lot of things that I don't know about that I'm not willing to shut the door on.
I don't think that my position has many closed doors. I think that I hold the positions that I believe no gods exist, but I still can be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I've never actually closed those doors, because I'm not saying that it is improbable that it's impossible. Which one is it, Thrayle?
It's impossible.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm just saying that it's improbable. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Then why hold the stance?
Because it's the best one that describes me.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that I don't know if there's, especially whenever there's gods that I do tend to me. Especially whenever there's gods that I do tend to think
You know why else I like I don't know? Because I don't like to argue with people, and not if somebody asks me a question that they clearly want to argue with me about, and my answer is I don't know, how do you argue with that?
I think that's another area that we differ on, because I do like to argue with people, and it's
Yeah, I don't.
it's not for just the sake of argument. It's because of the fact that when I argue with people, the way I argue is I still keep it respectful, but I get to hear differing positions and see how they contrast with mine. And I also believe in the reciprocity of having a discussion where if we're having a discussion that's not solely based on if someone else can question their beliefs like we do here, then what ends up happening is people are more willing to open up to what they believe and give me their full position. And because I'm willing to do the same with them.
You don't think that your position gives them a bias?
Why would my position give them a bias?
Because if they know what your position is, then they're going to have some inherent bias. They're likely going to have some bias that makes them approach the conversation differently because of what their preconceived notion is about your position.
The funniest thing is that I have experienced that doesn't tend to be the case, both online and in real life. One of the examples I can give of in real life was the fact that I used to have horses, and the boarding facility that we used to board them at, the lady who ran it, she was a non-denominational Christian, but a Christian nonetheless. And another one of the boarders was Catholic, and me and the Catholic would have discussions about God all the time and religion all the time. And the non-denominational Christian, would just kind of not get involved until one day she did. And then after we were done with our conversation, she told me, she's like, "You're not what I expected you to be." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, you're an atheist." I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "And you know I'm a Christian." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "And you don't make me feel dumb for believing in God." And all I asked her was, "Why would I?"
Right, she had a preconceived notion based on what she knew your belief system was.
And it didn't change the way that she would actually address her beliefs based on that preconceived notion, because she noticed that I'm not out there to make the believer look dumb.
Right, so this is somebody that had witnessed you having this conversation with somebody else over of some period of time. They had some expectation of how you would be. You personally.
And then whenever I do it online, it seems that people do the same thing. Though there have been a couple who have catered it more towards trying to convince me, as in being persuaded by their appeals to emotion, than anything else. But if your belief in God is not emotionally held, request up.
Or if it is, also request up.
Either way, if you can question it, request up.
I think beliefs are inherently emotional. I think that's part of like it being a belief.
I think that's what we find quite often, is that people's beliefs are held for some emotional reason, whether it be for comfort or fear or nostalgia. It's in some way generally an emotional thing. God is often a feeling, that feeling of altruism or some kind of connection with others.
I've heard that before, somewhere.
Someone said something like that.
It seems really smart. I think you should listen to that person more.
I don't know if that's actually what God is or just a way that that person can relate to other people saying stories of what God is. But in what way is that a divine creator of the universe that responds to prayer? And if it's not
Well,
that,
who
then
said
why would you call it God?
that God was necessarily a divine creator of the universe that responds to prayer, besides the Christians?
Many, many other faiths hold something similar. If a God is not some immortal being, if it is not some interactive ultimacy, then in what way is it God?
Is your is I don't know this.
You have to unsandwich God first.
I like God in my sandwiches. Thank you. I like my sandwiches very
Does
heavy
it
on the
taste
God.
cosmic?
I don't know this.
Sandwich God.
Maybe.
It is.
It is cold in here too because I don't have my heater on.
No, I have a heater on. I said, fuck
It's
it,
cold here,
TikTok
too.
will have to deal with the noise
You literally
cancellation.
can't even hear it, so you should just have it on all the time.
If I turned mine on, you would hear it.
It's noticeable. It's noticeable when I mute and unmute.
Hucky, stop sitting in snow.
Right. Anon was up earlier. Was there a reason why they couldn't stay? Was it?
They were talking about immortality. I mean, we could give him another go. He didn't do anything egregious.
Was I saying immortality? I said mortality. Morality, you know?
That's why.
Okay, well,
It was
I
a weird,
tried.
arrogant kind of condescension thing. I gotcha.
No, I mean, you know,
we
the
could try to
status
work
Are
go
past
more
by
that.
it every
wait,
day.
so are mortality and morality the same thing then?
Morality. What I mean is morality.
Right, but that's not what you said,
Morality.
so.
So not mortality. So you were saying something about morality. Let's back up. Let's try it like we just met. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
32.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods? A higher power or anything like that?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't believe in something that don't exist.
And what might convince you that a god did exist?
Did exist?
Does, do, is, whatever your preposition needs to be. What would convince you that a god exists?
Nothing.
So nothing could convince you that a god exists. Let me ask you a question, Anon. What is it that made you insist on being up on a panel where it says, can you question your beliefs when you don't have a belief and can't question your lack?
Can you question it yourself?
I remember now why he got dropped down. It's
Yeah, I
because he
remembered
said
as soon as he started speaking again.
it was that mixed with the fact that he said that he just wanted to listen. And you said, cool, there's a place where you can listen.
Next time you want to condescend to somebody about not representing your position correctly, maybe represent your own position correctly.
Right.
Morality and mortality, two very different things.
They're the same if you squint hard enough and you tilt your head to the side.
Francis says, glad the belief questioning experts could help out. Right. I don't know that we're experts. We're just the people questioning beliefs on the panel today. If you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power or anything like that, and you're open to questioning that belief, well, then you too might be a belief questioning expert. The
And
only
if-
way to find out is to request up and question your beliefs.
And if my presence is too intimidating for you, Francis, as you had mentioned earlier, then the very second you hit the request, I will drop down.
You know when you've been cold, in that moment when the heat starts to actually seep into your bones.
Oh, and
it's
you feel like a
almost
person?
Well, like right before you feel like a person. There's like a sort of a
Blitz.
searing, well, no, there's like a searing pain.
Oh, the searing pain part, yeah.
Yeah, where the heat and the cold kind of
Have a bloody war?
yeah, right in the bones. And maybe it's just me.
It's probably intensified by the fact that you're all bones and nothing else.
It might be. These bones
That
is
would,
cold.
yeah, it would make it a lot easier for your bones to be cold and then shocked since, there's nothing covering them.
It is 42 degrees here at Thrayle. 42.
It was 33 overnight.
That is
Ew.
disgusting.
Still in the 30s.
That is disgusting.
Mute, I'd sit there and asked Google. That is disgusting. 33? Even worse.
It's like 9 degrees worse.
It's -5 where Huggy is. I'm not complaining about 33.
Oh my
Huggy,
god.
It's
Huggy,
just
you are
chilly.
Huggy, you are living somewhere that should be inhabitable by human beings. What are you doing
Uninhabitable.
there? That's the word.
One time I had this boyfriend who had lived in North Dakota for a little while, and I asked him how cold was the coldest it ever got when he was there, and he told me -66, and I literally laughed and told him that wasn't a real temperature because I didn't realize that it was.
That's
But it
not
is.
a real temperature at all.
That's what I said. I didn't believe him. That was a belief I didn't hold. But unfortunately, I learned that it is a real temperature. I was wrong. See?
I'm still gonna live blissful in my ignorance and say that's not a real temperature.
I said people do realize that they don't have to live there, right? Like you can live somewhere else where it doesn't get that.
You can move to a warmer place.
Yeah. It's like, those people know they don't have to live there, right?
Amore, I live about 15 minutes away from the Gulf, so, and it's still cold right here.
Hello, Snurl World. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
I'm 23.
Do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything
Yes,
like that?
I done talked to him yesterday. He done revealed himself to me yesterday.
You talked to God yesterday and he revealed himself to you yesterday, you say?
Yes, in flesh.
Which God did you talk to yesterday?
The Christ, the anointed one. He was anointed one, the Christ.
He was anointed when you talked to him?
Yes.
Was there like a sheen, a shine? Was he greasy? What is it that indicated he was anointed? Yes, what is it? What does anointed mean?
Anointed one. You know, God shined his light on him, and
God shined his light, so it wasn't an oil or anything like that.
No, there's oils, but like it's like metaphorical.
There is oil. Oh, it's a metaphoric oil.
Yeah, he explained it when he was talking to me yesterday.
He explained what anointed was.
He just dropped so much on me. Yeah, anointed one means Christ. So Christ is basically
Christ means anointed, or anointed means Christ.
Christ means anointed one.
And anointed is what? What happens in an anointing?
Is when God, the Creator, shines His light on the individual or the firstborn, Adam. And
so it has nothing to do with the ritual where you put oil on someone.
It is a ritual. It is a ritual, he said. But he just talked to me yesterday, so I might be a little bit off on what I'm saying. But
He just talked to you yesterday and you're already forgetting the details.
No, it's because when you learn something, you're not going to know. Hold on.
When he talked to you, were you in like face to face in person, or was this something that happened in your mind?
It was face to face and in the spirit.
Face to face and in the spirit. What does that mean? In the spirit.
Like I said, I talked to him in the flesh, and he talked to my spirit. Like literally, I ain't never met him in my life.
When you talked to him in the flesh, what did he look like?
He's a regular human. He's a regular human. But
regular human. By regular human, if you were to like draw him, or sorry, not draw him, if you were to describe him to a sketch artist, would you just say he looked like a regular human? Draw a regular human. What would you tell the sketch artist to draw?
Just a regular human. I told him draws John Cena because they can't see him.
When you saw him, what color was his hair?
It was like black and white, like gray, like like old people get, like And it was like
black and white and gray and curly.
You know how old people hair ages? Yeah, salt and pepper.
So Jesus had salt and pepper hair that was curly.
No, it's not Jesus. Jesus.
Oh, it wasn't Jesus.
So everyone says Jesus is coming back, and the anointed one yesterday told me and showed me scriptures of where Jesus says that there's going to be this person to come back, like the anointed one, like Muhammad, Jesus, David. It's a spirit. It's not. It's
the
not
anointed one is not Jesus then.
it's a spirit. So the spirit goes. It's the Holy Spirit. It
Is
goes into.
is Muhammad a spirit?
Yes, spirit, spirit. It's all the
Do you
spirit.
believe the Quran?
Yes.
Have you read the Quran?
No,
How can you believe it if you've never read it?
because I mean, I read a little bit of it, but I just know. I know.
Do you believe that it is God breathed and inerrant?
Say that again.
Is it God breathed and without error?
God's breathe. All right, that's a little bit too hard for me, man. I'm a little slow. I ain't gonna lie.
Is
That was
it
a hard
God's
question.
word?
There we go. Yes,
Did God speak those words and the Prophet Muhammad wrote them down?
yes,
So God spoke the words that the prophet should be allowed to have multiple wives.
yes,
And God spoke the words that a wife should be ultimately rebuked or distanced and then finally struck if she offends or doesn't manage the finances well.
Can you bring up that scripture or verse? Because I don't want to. I don't want to say
434
434. And what is it? 434.
in the Quran, Anisa,
All right, hold on. I'll be
Anisa,
right back.
434.
Hey, hold on. I'll be right back.
Uh-huh. So he spoke to the salt and pepper haired god who looked like a regular person yesterday. I've got so many questions about the appearance of God.
So if he's Googling it, he's probably going to see the
Hey,
verse
hey,
that
I'm a.
doesn't say it.
Hey, wait, hold on. I'm not going to speak for him. I can lead you to him, and you can ask your questions because he has more than I do. Remember, I just got
Do you think
introduced.
I'm sorry, do you think you're here on this panel just to lead us to God?
I'm trying to do that.
You're
If
trying
you
to
want,
lead
if you
us.
want, if you want,
Is that what you're trying to do? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to spread some light, man.
What does that first question at the top of the screen say?
Can you question your beliefs? I can't
Can
question it.
you?
All right. No, I can't.
Well, I guess you've saved us a bunch of time and, effort.
How do you get this far in life without being able to actually read a question?
Well, he did say he was 23. Maybe he hasn't had to do that yet.
It's possible that he's just, not had to do that this far in life. And maybe that will still be a skill he can develop in the future. And then he can come back and we can go through that whole ridiculous conversation again before realizing he's got more questioning to do.
I too was curious about the appearance of God.
I thought it might have looked like me.
Well, I was wondering how much he might stack up to either this, was it the 11-foot Jesus in the elevator, or Keanu Reeves. Yosef, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
I'm 48 years old.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I do.
And what is that belief?
Truth.
Which god do you believe in?
Only one. The God of all of them.
When you say the God of all of them, are you speaking of the God of the Baha'i faith? Is that the faith you follow?
When you asked me which God, I just made it simple just to say the God of all gods because he's the creator of all things.
Odin.
Right. It's either Odin or it's the god of Baha'u'llah or is it
I'm not familiar with those
could
two
be
gods,
Brahman.
but the God I know is a God of both of them.
Oh, interesting. How did you determine that your god is bigger than all the other gods that are bigger than all the other gods?
Well, there's gods are titles, and there's many gods, like so many lords and gods, but there's only one of all of them, the Lord of Lords and the God of Gods.
The Lord of Lords and the God of Gods. You must be speaking of Marduk, the slayer of Tiamat, the creator of the world.
No, it sounds
The
like
one
you
who
serve those
formed
many gods.
humans.
I only serve the
No,
one God I
you
know.
said the God. Sorry, you said the God of Gods. That would have been Tiamat, right?
Yeah, that's the one you serve. You serve a God named God of
Stop trying
Gods.
to argue. I don't know why you're trying to argue with me, Yosef. This actually makes
No,
you sound
I'm just
childish.
telling you, I don't serve those
You're just
gods you
speaking
know.
over me, and you're saying gibberish, and it sounds childish. Can you slow down and maybe
I'm just
calm
letting you know I don't
yourself?
serve.
You just need to calm yourself down a little bit there, Yosef. You sound like you're losing your temper, and it's not going
Your
to play out
calmness
well.
does
You're not actually going to
sound like you're making
win a conversation here. There's no winning.
calmness does
And what you're actually doing is
just force
the
yourself.
only way to lose is to act like an absolutely
Makes you
petulant
calm.
child. Wow.
All the gods you have in your heart,
It's really ridiculous
you
how
calm.
you have no idea what
Just
you're even talking about or who
breathe
you're talking
have
to.
peace,
You just sound like
but you got a
an
lot of
idiot
gods.
right now, Yosef. Do you
You
realize how completely foolish you sound right now? You don't know who you're
I
talking to,
don't.
and you're making a million assumptions about me. I have no gods. I'm
As
asking you about the God you believe in, and you just sound like you have absolutely no idea how to even work the microphone right now.
your God,
You just keep rubbing it up against your face halfway through words. You're saying things about me having gods that I don't have. You're losing it, Yosef. You're losing it. If you could calm down and maybe just not unmute until I'm done speaking, then you'll probably have a better time. I was going to ask you about the God of Gods that you believe is the God of Gods, and you just can't seem to answer the question. So let's try this one more time. Does the God you believe in exist in any books or stories? Is it from any scriptures?
This is the part where you can now come unmute, Yosef.
Wild how he can't find the unmute button now.
it's funny how you guys are homosexuals.
Oh. Oh.
You
Yosef.
bagging him,
Yosef.
flaming
Yosef. Yosef, that is so unfortunate of you.
So if you have a belief in a god or gods and don't want to do that, that was a good example of what not to do.
That's how you lose on the Batcolyte is, being an arrogant piece of shit who can't shut your mouth long enough to hear a question. Casting judgment on people you haven't even asked a question of and know nothing about. That's the only way to lose. Well, I cleared the requests again. A lot of Q ghosts who aren't really there. But if anybody else does have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that, if you're open to having your beliefs questioned, go ahead and request on up. I'm not here to debate you. I'm not interested in proving. I just want to know if you can question that belief. if you can answer what the belief is and why you hold to it, then maybe we can question what the benefit is. And with that, what is the cost?
What goes best with Nutella?
A spoon.
Got it.
The trash can.
Kat, it was nice having you on the panel.
Oh my.
Hammy apparently has strong feelings about Nutella.
Right.
Amoria says bananas. Bananas do go great with Nutella.
Apparently that was heresy.
Apparently that was too far for Hammy.
Oh, I don't like chocolate, you guys. That's the thing.
It was nice knowing you, Kat. Our friendship was great while it lasted.
There are far better things than chocolate.
There are so many.
It's nice knowing you, Thrayle. Could you imagine if that was something that I was really a hard line for me? Just be like, you can sit there and call me every name under the sun. If you badmouth chocolate.
Hammy, we have a guest. Hello, Martian Fire Yeti. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yes, sir. I'm about 49 years old.
49. And do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
Absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense to believe in a god. I'm more agnostic. It is possible, but I just don't think it's something that's feasible.
What about Pele?
A what?
Pele?
You're gonna have to speak a little louder.
Pele.
The volcano god.
Oh, the volcano.
Oh, okay. Clearly, sorry.
Yeah, obviously.
My bad.
I won't hold it against you.
Have you ever been on mic before?
No, this is my first time, actually. I prefer to type because a lot of people make fun of my voice. I know I'm pretty articulate when it comes to my grammar and my writing skills, but my voice is a little bit different to understand.
Wait, what gods are there on Mars? Oh, you don't think there's any, but what
Well-
gods?
Well, I know you humans decided to name my planet for me without a vote or talking to me about it first, which was a little rude, if I may say so. But Mars is, where I live, apparently, according to you. It's just a big red rock to me. It's home. But you humans, we discovered a new planet. Let's name it after something we know.
I don't. I can't.
What do you call the big red rock?
A big red rock.
Fitting name. It's a fitting name.
It seems like so fitting for it.
Well, yeah, like what we got to be with fancy with names, right? Like you call Earth Terra or, Mother Earth. Yeah, I guess it's fine because there's more life on Earth because, you all live there. But, why we got named planet like Pluto? What's wrong with Pluto? Now it's not even a planet no more. Because you all make rules. You didn't ask me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We didn't take the name away, though. It's still Pluto.
Yeah, I know, but like, who are you all? Not you specifically, but your scientist decided it's not a planet no more just because he's tiny. You know, Cat's tiny, so she's not a human no more.
I mean, if she was much smaller, probably.
Fair.
Fair enough.
That's fair. No, that's fair. I can accept not being a human anymore. That's fine.
Tammy, where'd you go, friend?
I'm dying behind the mic, so please excuse me.
Oh, okay. You're excused there, friend.
Which region of Mars is your accent from?
It's the northern part. See, I did have a friend. He lived a little bit southern. He had like more of that. What's that? What you humans call in the United States? It's like that what's that country accent? Like KFC. Is that what you call it?
Yes, we call it KFC.
That's what Hammy's accent is. Yes, he's
Yes,
an
it's
authentic
KFC.
accent.
It's a little bit what you call. It's the word dirtier. Is that a proper term for it? It would be like it's a little bit more. Oh, it's like what's that state? With the boot state. What's that called?
Louisiana?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, Louisiana. Yeah, that's it.
Fire Yeti, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, by all means, Cat.
Why did you scare me that one night?
Well, no, you see, that's the problem I got with you, little lady. You listen here. You scared me. You came to my vacation spot when I thought I was going to be just having a good time with my puppy. And here you come stomping around and scared me and my puppy. And my puppy's name is Lava Girl, for those in the comments who don't know if you're not part of the Discord. That's my dog's name. And you scared me and her, and we ran. You scared me. It wasn't me scaring you. That's the opposite. Don't you be telling no lies on me.
You did run, that is true.
I did.
I appreciated that very much.
You were had to change me britches when I got home.
I apologize for that.
It's fine.
I
I'll
wasn't
send you.
expecting there to be a Fire Yeti on vacation.
Well, I wasn't expecting a little human girl to walk around my vacation spot, but there you are.
Well, this is fair.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced that the actual sighting wasn't a hippie with goggles.
Thrayle thinks that you were just a hippie with goggles.
Well, you know, Thrayle,
Well, let's be clear. Let's be
Okay.
clear. I didn't say that I thought that Fire Yeti, the Martian Fire Yeti on panel, was a hippie with goggles. I'm still not convinced that this Martian Fire Yeti was the Fire Yeti of your experience.
I don't know. Seems to add up.
Well, that is true. They're all more fire. See, I'm the Martian Fire Yeti. There are other Yetis on your planet. There's like that snow guy. He's a prick. And then there's the one in the America and
In the Pacific Northwest?
yeah, the what?
In the Pacific Northwest?
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. And like Canada and all that. Is that guy? He's all right.
Canada, as opposed to Canada.
Yeah, what you said?
The Canada's the ones that can't. Right.
Yeah, what you said, Thrayle.
Thrayle?
He pronounced Thrayle, but not Canada.
I know.
Well, he's heard Thrayle's name countless times.
Well, yeah, that's all you all talk about. Thrayle this, Thrayle that.
I really would have loved if he would have said Thrayle.
Well, that's not how it looks on the screen. It's got an R in front of the A.
Right, I know. I understand this. You know, thank you, Fire Yeti. I've never understood why they say Thrayle, but it does make me laugh.
Yeah, it's not like it's a thyroid or something. It's the rail. It's like ride the rail.
That's what my wife says.
Oh,
I just couldn't leave that one alone.
Oh,
Ooh.
Thrayle.
as a good one.
That's a
I
good
left
one.
that one alone. I should have left that one alone.
You don't get stuff like that from Thrayle that often. That was a treat to the 82 people in here.
Just so you know, I am giving you a virtual high five for that one, Thrayle.
Yeah, it's a Mars high five too. I'll throw you that wherever you're at on your planet.
I'm doing what women do and rolling my eyes, but it was still a good one.
Oh, yeah, it's typical.
She's doing the eye roll that always has a smile with it.
Yeah, that like smirk eye roll. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like you don't want to admit that it was funny, but because you're a woman, you don't want to be like, "Oh my god, that wasn't funny." But you know, like in the inside, you're like, "Yeah, that was kind of funny."
That's exactly what it was.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, why did the N's become glottal in your accent?
Are we questioning beliefs or are we questioning our accent?
This is exactly what we needed after those last several guests.
Yeah, absolutely. The last like 3 or 4 you had up here were just fucking pricks. I'm sorry for my language.
Yeah, they weren't great.
Nishi wants to know why you were kicked off your home planet.
I wasn't kicked. I can't listen. I wasn't kicked.
If we look into the record of Martian excommunications, are we going to find your name, Fire Yeti?
No, no. I'm not an illegal Martian Fire Yeti. I have papers.
He knows his rights.
I do know my rights. Thank you, Hammy.
Joe says the list is smaller than you would think. Smaller than the Baha'i Faith. The Baha'i Faith, the list of excommunications is pretty small.
But we do know that we have one person who is on that list.
It does happen. Good morning, Bats.
Good morning, Thrayle. Good morning, Cat. Good morning, Yeti. Good morning, Hammy.
Good morning, Bats.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Fire Yeti, you are unaliving me in the comments. I should protest, but it's too funny.
Or is it a compliment?
Yes, you are brilliant.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, here's a question though. What's something you noticed that they do on Mars or your planet, that they should do on Earth?
Leave everybody alone. You know, I don't got any neighbors. Not anymore. And it's nice. Just leave everybody alone.
Why don't you have any neighbors anymore?
'Cause they all left.
Did they all leave, or was there some stuff that was happening that they couldn't leave each other alone?
I don't know. You have to ask them. I don't know.
Is Mars not a very nice place to live?
I personally think it's great. I got me tomatoes, I got potatoes, and I got cabbage.
Elton John just seemed to think that it wasn't a nice place to live, so I don't know what you think about that.
What's an Elton John?
Fair enough.
So there are no anything or mysterious unknowns on Mars?
No, not. It's a big red rock. That's that. You humans are like, oh, Martians and all that, and oh, you space stations and all that. Let's send a little go-kart over to see what the Fire Yeti's doing. I'm not. The last one that came up, it ran over my tomato plant, and I did throw it Ticked me right off.
How did you nitrogenate the soil?
Well, that's the thing. I got dirt from your planet when I came to my vacation spot, and that's how I grow my stuff, because I made a little box out of some stuff and then rocks, and then I put the dirt on top, and that's how I got it.
We do have some of the best dirt on the planet. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know that.
So you took Earth dirt to Mars to grow Earth plants on Mars.
No, the Martian tomatoes, potatoes, and cabbages.
Martian. Are they Martian because you grew them there? Or are they Martian because they're from Mars?
Yes.
I see. We really need somebody with a real belief to question, but Martian Fire Yeti, I appreciate you coming up and giving us something to question for a minute. Does anybody else have any questions for this guest?
Can you let me know next time you're on vacation so we don't have another unfortunate incident?
No.
Okay. Okay.
You don't even know what I'm doing. But I will try to be more secretive, and I do appreciate all the gifts that was unnecessary. I appreciate it, Thrayle. I love your space. I love the Discord. I love everybody here. You're all great. Thank you much for the time that I got.
Appreciate you, Martian Fire Yeti. Take care, and I hope you keep asking questions. Are you happy?
I needed to laugh.
I said, can you let me know? He said, no. Oh, okay. Well, alrighty.
If I were a Martian Fire Yeti on vacation in Hawaii, would I carry my golden retriever across the lava field at night?
At 4 a.m.
4 a.m. And what would I hope to accomplish by doing so, other than convincing any onlooker that Martian Fire Yetis like to abduct dogs in lava fields?
Right, I definitely thought that dog was in peril.
Wait, I stepped away. What happened to Martian Fire Yeti?
Are we about to believe that Hammy is Martian Fire Yeti in disguise? Of Breath and Bone, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
50.
Do you have a belief in a god or god's higher power or anything like that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what god do you believe in?
A pantheon. I'm Norse pagan and animist.
I see. Do you believe that the Norse pagan deities exist and interact with our world?
I don't think they interact with our world at all.
I see. And have you read the Eddas and the sagas?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe the stories within them to be true and literal?
No, I don't believe them to be literal. I'm not a little purist. I think they are there as a way of parable, and to create a moral compass and order where there was none. And that there is some truth and historical references in there, but there's Swiss cheese holes in it.
I see. And if you don't believe them to be true and literal, then in what way are they relevant?
They're relevant if you find a moral compass or guidance or a peace within yourself with them. They're not meant to be doctrine. Not meant to be dogma. They're not written that way. But if you find a comfort in them, if you find a peace in them, if you find a guidance in them, if you find something that resonates with you, then that works for you. You do you.
I think Hammy might have a couple of questions for you.
Awesome.
Howdy. Breath, what god or goddess do you tend to practice with the most?
I don't. I treat them all equally. If they were worthy of being notated, then they're worthy of notice. But I don't venerate any of them specifically.
Have any of them called out to you at all?
No, because that would be spiritual psychosis. They're not showing up on like a piece of toast at my breakfast table or sitting in my room. That's not how that works.
Okay. Have you always believed in the Norse gods?
I was raised in the practice, yes.
Oh, okay. How far back does your family go with it?
Several generations before me. I started my instruction from my grandmother at 13.
Nice. Do you read the Havamal?
Always.
What's your favorite translation of the Havamal?
Oh gosh, I prefer Bray.
Bray?
Yep.
I'm more partial to Crawford myself.
I like Crawford. I truly do. I teach. I have a server, but we go through the Havamals, a group reading, and everybody has every different translation and puts them forward. I love Crawford. I do have issues with some of his Old Norse to English because of the way he goes through the etymology and translations, and I'm a nerd and I study etymology.
Yeah. I've been very, very partial to the Cowboy translation.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I had a question that I wanted to ask that kind of slipped from my mind. I assume you're from here in the States, right?
Yes, but I live 26.
Okay. Are you familiar with things like the Declaration? What were your thoughts on that?
I think that first of all, a lot of people who come into Norse paganism think that you must have a certain DNA or be a certain identity in order to be included. That's bullshit. And pardon my language. I'm sorry, host. BS. There is no historical evidence for that whatsoever. That's a modern conception. And as far as, I'm going to say it, 9 noble virtues, they are newtsy in their conception and are not a thing.
I like that answer. I have no more questions along these lines that I have for this. But I will ask, can I get a no frith with fascists?
Say again?
I'm sorry, give me a sec. My mic is... I said, I have no questions along that line anymore, but could I get a no frith with fascists from you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, so you're not a lore literalist, which is great.
Absolutely.
So, do you think that any of the stuff, like, say, like, Ragnarok, any of that, you don't think that's going to come to pass type of deal?
So again, parables. And we talk about cycles. We see these cycles on Earth from day dot where empires rise and fall. And I think it's more related to that. I don't believe in it in a sense of, let's say, the Abrahamic, end of times. I don't see it as that at all. I see it as it's cyclical. We all go through it. Civilizations have gone through it. Empires have gone through it. But yet they reinvent, they reconstruct, and they rise again. I don't see it as literal, oh, there's nothing left.
Do you... Oh, go ahead, Bats.
I'm sorry, Hammy. I thought you were. Besides being raised in this belief, is there any other reason you choose to follow this particular one?
Yes, ma'am. I'm more am a Norse animist. Norse pagan is a broad term, so people understand, the concepts. Animism, Norse animism is my thing because I think we're disconnected from the environment and the world around us because we're stuck in consumerism, capitalism, our own needs and desires, that dopamine hit. And I much prefer to connect as far as animism is concerned, and Norse paganism is very much so animist.
This connection with Norse animism, does it bring you comfort or help you live your life?
So, spiritual beliefs and spiritual practice, in my personal opinion, can be two different things. I can believe in one thing and then my daily life practice in a different way. I love to sit with nature, and it gives me a calm. It allows me to reflect. Many people cannot sit with themselves for just 15 minutes without self-judgment or intrusive thoughts, because we're used to that instant gratification, and we're our own worst enemies when it comes to, not thinking positively about ourselves. And I use it to train my mind in order to find that balance.
Do you believe these beliefs to be true and possibly verifiable? Oh, I think we decupped them.
You may have had a call.
Could have been a call. Could be old breath and bone lost.
All right, yes, it was a call.
There we go. I think Bats had another question there.
Yes, I was wondering if you believe these beliefs to be true or verifiable.
Yes, I do. True for me and those who practice, and verifiable to those who practice. Doesn't mean it's so for everyone else. It doesn't have to be. Whatever brings other people comfort, whatever they choose to believe, I honor that. And whether I find it verifiable or truth, it doesn't matter because it's not mine.
If these beliefs are true to you and not to other people, is there any such thing as an absolute truth?
There is no absolute. When we speak in absolutes, we are limiting ourselves, our minds, our experiences, and we become stagnant. There is no absolute.
If you were to find out that these beliefs weren't true, would it change how you lived your life at all?
Not at all.
So are these beliefs perhaps yours, and then you found a tradition that suits you, or was it the other way around?
Other way around. I was raised in it, and then I found my truth within it.
Did your mother and father, did they take a more a different approach to this?
No.
Is anyone else who follows a different belief system or no belief system at all closer or farther away from the truth?
No. No.
So you're very open to other people's beliefs being just as true as yours?
100%.
What if
whether they have a belief or none.
What if the beliefs contradict yours?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't change my practice or my beliefs. Doesn't harm me in any way.
You seem like a very open-minded individual who's used this practice system, this traditional system for to make your life better. But we know for certain that any of these things actually do help us, or is there some sort of bias?
There are biases, and then people always want to know absolutes. That's human nature. And I'm also a psychologist, so just put that in text as also. But a lot of people want an absolute. They want proof. They want to find that truth. And it's better to have a good idea rather than a firmly held belief, because at least with a good idea, you have room for expansion and to have a better open mind. You may change your understanding or your quote beliefs as a result of that experience you have with someone who's totally different and opposite to yours. But the thing is, none of us are beings of cosmological importance. We're simple humans, every one of us. And who knows what those absolute truths will be, because no one is coming back from the afterlife and when they pass on and saying, okay, this is what it is, and telling us and take notes.
Do your beliefs are they acceptable to all, or do they harm any other groups, or do they exclusive, or how do I ask? I think my words are a bit jumbled, but I was wondering if, because I grew up Christian and later on I realized that Christianity has caused much harm. Is there any harm that historically your traditions have brought, or are they?
100% there is. 100%. And even modernly, there are some groups of Norse pagans out there that are not tolerant. I'll just put it that way for TikTok.
We can say YT supremacists.
Yeah, right there. And absolutely, still to this day, that harm exists. And we do the best we can to call it out, to move it aside, to let people know and educate them on dog whistles and the damage that can be caused there. But absolutely. And that exists in every single spiritual belief and religion. It's not the practice that's a problem, it's the people.
I wasn't a Norse pagan whenever the Declaration of Deeds came out, but I did my part to help spread that word.
So good.
I do have a personal question for myself, about the situation, if that's okay.
Yes.
I am currently talking to someone who is Norse pagan. Is there anything I should know about his belief system to be respectful of?
Depends on if they're a Satru, Norse pagan as in general, or Norse pagan animist, or their own variation within that, because there's a lot of different elements. Some people are Thirsta true, Roka true, and I mean, I know those are terms that are weird, but you know, they are what they are. Some people are shamanic and follow the northern tradition of shamanism, like myself. So it depends on where they fall.
But you said shaman?
Shamanism,
So you read the runes?
yes.
Do you believe that it's giving you some kind of divine guidance when you do so?
I believe that they don't tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear, and you take from that what resonates on the basis of your subconscious, unconscious, and your conscious mind, your living daily life. You're going to automatically assign a meaning to something. That's up to the individual.
But you, as the rune caster, do you feel like there's some kind of divine guidance that's happening with the runes themselves?
I wouldn't say divine, because they're not connected to any divinity. I would say that it is just like somebody gives wise words, like the Havamal. They're not, commandments. The Havamal is not commandments. It's not dogma. It's not doctrine. It's wise words. And should they choose to take them? Yes. I think there's some wisdom to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I think
You say they're wise words, but where are they from?
Ah, that's a thing. Could it be man? Because we know the game of telephone.
Why wouldn't it be?
I think it is. I think they were translated from oral, and we know they are. There was oral tradition from the peoples of the time, and then it was put together by a human into a cohesive set of writings, and it's going to have their influence upon it. It's going to have a bias upon it. It can't help but do so. That's the nature of human beings. But again, it's not telling you you must, thou shalt, thou will, thou must. You read it and take from it what you want. What you don't want, that's up to you. Free will.
Do you believe that there's a consciousness behind the runes, or that it is your subconscious?
Both.
Where does the consciousness come from? Like, is it the runes themselves? Is it a rune caster? Is it who are you receiving the message from?
The person who is working the runes it's not coming from them at all, unless they wish to insert themselves and have bias. At that point, that's different. In Norse paganism, we understand that Odin hung from Yggdrasil and sacrificed himself to himself in order to receive the knowledge of the runes. So they come from a primordial place. Where? It does not state, and no one can say. If someone does say, they're lying.
From how can we trust it as being accurate?
How do you trust your intuition? How do you trust your own judgment? How do you trust family members? Relationships are built. It's up to each individual. How do you trust your instincts? No different.
So you sort of develop trust as you work with them?
Yes.
So it's one of those things, like, So, you don't believe that the gods are real entities, right?
Believe that there is a concept there that they absolutely are, based on many things. So I study migration studies in order to find out where their names came from, their attributes came from, before they entered into the Nordic corpus, before there were countries that were named when they were still nodal points. And there's a long history of where that came from. And there are scholars out there that refer to them as real people that existed, that came out of those 12 tribes that migrated. And they took that and then brought their attributes and their leadership into that lore and mythology.
So they go after what Snorri says.
I have a love-hate relationship with Snorri.
Well, that entire thing about the coming from the 12 tribes came directly from Snorri.
It did, but it's also in migration studies. So if you go back and look at the migration of human beings from the Proto-Indo-European and the Caucasus, there's more than that. And that's not me just, not UPG, my own gnosis. That's actually academia.
So, if the gods themselves aren't physical, actual beings, and that they're just based off of people, then how is it that the runes come from Odin after he hung himself from Yggdrasil?
They don't come from Odin. We know from the mythology, if you believe in that they were acquired by Odin. It never states where they come from.
Well, acquired. My bad. My apologies.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, if we know that, so if Odin didn't exist as an actual deity, then how did the runes get acquired?
He acquired them from his self-sacrifice on Yggdrasil.
But, so you take that story literally.
I think it refers more to a shamanic transformation of going within to seek knowledge and to find what knowledge that resonated and to bring that forward. We also know that in the Lay of Rig, that Heimdall passed that also on to mankind. So it's mentioned not once but twice in that way.
So then do you think that, like, are you saying that you believe that Odin, the human, who the legends and stories are about, became a shaman, and wherever he got the knowledge of rune casting, he brought that to the people?
So, not saying he was human, not saying he was not some form of divinity. I want people to decide for themselves their path, their way, not for me to tell them. But I also believe that he did share that knowledge, because whether we see that as a direct sharing face to face, same with Heimdall, or whether we see that as via oral tradition or somebody having an experience, it could be any of them or all of them, or none, possibly none.
So you don't know?
No one knows for sure. We have nothing that says for sure. And even if it did say for sure in any written document, I'm not going to take that verbatim. That's ignorance.
So, what is it that you believe about it? I don't really care what other people could believe. I want to know what you believe about it.
I believe that, as we know through academia now and scholarly works and research papers they've done now, comparing Odin's attributes across multiple different belief systems, that it's now accepted widely that he has a shamanic self. And there's many different elements that show that shamanic element. And we can trace that shamanism way back. Regular
What does shamanism mean to you?
Way back in history.
What does shamanism mean to you?
Shamanism is a connection with spirit, your psyche, being able to go through something that's called...
What is spirit?
Our being, our essence.
Why would you call it spirit?
Because that's a common term. It's just one that people understand. To go for, if you go further in depth.
What is essence?
What makes us who we are. Individuation.
So energy is individuation. Energy is...
Yes, because your energy...
Is that just what you're referring to when you use energy, and other people might use it a different way?
Absolutely, people can use it in a different way, but we know...
If everybody's using the term energy in a different way, are you actually using it right? Or is this one of those...
It's a great question.
Religious indoctrination things?
That's a great question. Does it matter to you? Does it change?
It matters if you can question your beliefs.
I question them all the time.
So what does that mean? What does it mean to question your beliefs?
It means to ask the hard questions, to say, am I thinking about this in the correct way, so that I continue to grow and be open-minded? So I don't learn to hate others. So I don't ostracize others. So I
didn't ask you, hang on, I didn't ask you a question leading for that answer. I took a pause to think about what you said. Does anybody else have any more questions for this guest?
I think I have one last question. What's the harshest criticism you have of your own beliefs, not of the overall Norse paganism or Norse animism, but of your own beliefs? What is one thing that you wish you could change or criticize, or maybe you should do better?
To not believe that everything that happens to us is directly aimed at us. That life is life, just like with our ancestors, just like throughout history. We are not exceptional. We are part of the experience. And that is hard, because we want to think that there's always, hey, I'm here and I'm going to pick you up, little human, and sort life for you. And there's a lot of suffering in the world, and there always has been. That's the harshest.
Thanks for being here, old Breath of Bone. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Oh, I did not mean to cut you off that quickly. I meant to give you a little bit more of a goodbye. Sorry, I was pulling the disconnect, and I went straight for the okay. But Breath and Bone, I appreciate you being here, and I hope you do keep asking questions. I really do appreciate the answers you gave and the thoughtfulness to them. Go ahead, Tammy.
I hope that you continue on the good fight against the fascists.
There's like a lot of us are climbing the rope of I don't know, but different ones of us have opinions on what's at the top.
So, Bats, the person you're speaking with is Norse pagan?
Yes, he's Norse pagan. Also very typically looks Norse pagan too, with the Mjolnir and the beard, but like he's very he's exploring his own beliefs, and I think it's fair that if he's exploring his beliefs, that I should probably educate myself on them, to be respectful and to understand my partner better.
Ask him what version of Norse paganism he's following currently.
Okay, I can do that. It's interesting for me to ask people about their beliefs. It's going to be a fun ride, but we'll see what happens. If not, we'll see if he stays Norse pagan or if I become Norse pagan.
Hey, Standy, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Hey, yeah, I'm 30 years old.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I don't have an established belief. I would say I don't know, but I'm open to possibilities. I would say the two main possibilities that I'm open to are that there is a creator of some type. I wouldn't necessarily call it a god. And if there isn't a god, I would just say that there's like a 5-dimensional being playing like The Sims or something, and I'm.
But you don't have an active belief. You don't accept either of those to be true, correct?
Yeah, I would say that
Oppositionally possible. So
yeah, I
why
would
is
say
it
that I
you
don't have like an
believe
established
that a god
belief.
is? Yeah, why don't you believe that a god exists?
Like I said, I wouldn't say that I don't believe a god exists. I just say that the current, like for example, the Christian God is not someone that I would choose to believe in, given the circumstances that revolve around that.
I was under the impression you were saying that you leave open the room for the possibility, you entertain, but don't accept the idea that there is some potential creator.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Was there a miscommunication in what I said?
No, it's sounding though like now you're saying that while you just don't accept Jesus, there may be a God.
Yeah. So like, if there is a God, I just wouldn't want it to be Jesus, I guess, if that's like the simplest way I could put it.
Right. I'm not sure if I asked you that question. Do you believe that there is a God or a higher power?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Let's see here. I want to really make sure I get my thoughts in order. Okay. I would say that I don't think that there's a God or a higher power because of the chaos. It's too much chaos.
What is chaos?
For example, why if there is a God, if this God would be an all-loving God or all-powerful God, why is there children who die unnecessarily? Or why do things happen in our experience as human beings that aren't necessary on a base level if there is a God?
I see. And what might convince you that a God does exist?
What would convince me that a God exists would be indisputable proof, I guess.
And if you had that indisputable proof, whatever that may be,
so my acknowledgement of the existence, does that entail, like, so if I acknowledge that this God exists, does that also entail that I have to worship, or is the worship,
I'm just asking if you would worship it.
No. Well, I mean, I guess it would depend on what this god stands for. For example, I guess if there was, you want to take like Anubis, I don't know, the Egyptian god of death or something. You could prove to me that Anubis is real. I don't know what the worship of a god of death would look like, but I mean, I guess like that might have been a dumb thing to say. Hang on, let me think about what I just said. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, what I'm saying is if the god is worthy of worship, yeah, I guess I would worship him or it or they, you know, whatever.
What kind of god would you want to worship if you had to choose?
I don't want to use a blanket term like a good god. Good is subjective. I guess a god that aligns with my principles in life. Then again, it's arguable whether or not my principles in life have any meaning whatsoever, right? Because ostensibly all life is meaningless. So, I mean, I'm not going to say that my principles hold any more value than someone else's principles.
I don't know that I have any more questions for you, Standy, but does anybody else have a question for Standy?
Am I saying like incoherent things? Like, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm just trying to understand like, why you.
Not really, no. I just generally only have a few questions that I ask non-believers.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to ask? Or I'm just participating in the conversation. I'm more than happy to get out of here if I'm like ruining the space here.
You're not ruining the space, Standy. You're doing fine. We just only ask a few questions of non-believers. I'm generally just looking for believers, but I give everybody the opportunity to explore.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
The only question I have is, could you be wrong?
Yeah, I'm not. I've never held the position that what I believe is superior to other beliefs. I'm open to the possibility of being wrong. Absolutely.
Apparently, he's doing atheism all wrong, Hammy. Tell him how he's wrong.
I mean, clear. He's clearly is wrong. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say.
So, what do you mean? Clearly, I'm wrong.
Oh, we're all wrong. Even I'm wrong.
Hammy just wants to tell somebody they're wrong all the time. You're doing fine.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I really did. I really did enjoy the little bit of conversation I heard because I had to step away to put some stuff up real quick. But what I did hear, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I think if there's anything I'll leave you guys with is just this: is like I have opinions about what a higher.
Standy, I really appreciate you answering the questions. Don't be offended. I do that to literally everybody if it sounds like they're about to do an exit speech. But I really do appreciate you. Hope you keep asking questions. You did great. If anybody watching does have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that, you can go ahead and request on up.
Before
Hello, JD.
Oh, never mind.
Well, you were gonna do it before, but JD's already here. So JD, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yeah, certainly. I'm 31.
And do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I certainly do.
And what is that god?
It is a formless being, commonly known, well, the name of it is Danu.
And where do you learn of this Danu?
Irish folklore, Irish mythology. Goidelic practices, Goidelic teachings. That would be my god itself. However, I'm more philosophical in religion than I am a worshipper.
So, what does it mean for you for this God to exist? What does that look like?
What does it look like for the God to exist? For me, it's subjective. You know, I see Danu as a female force, a genderless cosmological force which created the universe and everything within. I see Danu as...
Why do you see Danu as a force that created the universe?
That's my faith. Within the faith, people have different belief systems. They don't just see it as
Right. I'm asking you why you choose to believe that Danu created the universe.
Because it's my faith.
So I'm gonna stop you for just a moment here. Can you read the big question in bold letters on the screen?
Can you question your beliefs?
Can you?
I can.
What does that mean?
Can you reconstruct your religion, your belief system?
So when I ask you why you believe that Danu created the universe, and you say just because it's just my belief, can you dig a little deeper and find maybe a reason, if there is one?
Host mate, it's really difficult to hear you.
Yeah, I was just saying if you could maybe dig a little deeper than because it's my faith when asked why you believe Danu created the universe. So why do you believe Danu created the universe?
I did hear that question. Let me have a think about it. Other than, giving you the generic, because I do spiel.
I appreciate that. Thinking is kind of what we're aiming for. So really appreciate that. And while you do give it a think, I just want to make sure and well, thank everybody who's tapped the screen, got us up to 80K. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. Also, well, it looks like we just hit the live goal. So thank you so much to Hammy, but also thank you to Rooted in the Pines, Ethereum members, Shell, Freya. Oh, Grandpa was in here. Gabby, thank you. Also, thank you to Heather's Descent and Amore. And if anybody from a private account helped as well, well, thank you. I really appreciate all of you for helping out. So yeah, why is it that you believe, JD, that Danu created the universe?
So I've had a ponder. To me, there is substantial amount of evidence pointing towards the creation of the universe being the result of Danu. The evidence that I can point towards is the Danube River, which was named after this primordial goddess, the Danube River being the longest river in Europe, stretching through 11 countries. Within the tales, within the sagas, we have locations that are highly described as real-life locations, such as the Isle of Skye in Scotland, Giant's Causeway, which connects the UK and the Isle of Man. The Isle of Man itself, which again is also named after one of the gods, Manana Maclea, the god of sea and travel. So I believe within myself there is substantial amount of evidence that I can't refute, that I in myself can't deny.
You're saying because there's a river named after a deity, then therefore the deity must have created everything that exists.
When you put it like that, to an extent, yes, but the other locational variables as well, such as
if I'm to be like, just to be fair, like if there was a nebula named after a creature, then should we assume that the universe is really just a big one of those creatures? Like there's a bat nebula. Could I assume that the universe is really just the membrane between the bony appendages of a celestial skeletal bat goddess who unfurls her wings in accordance with the lambda cetium model of physics, otherwise known as the Big Bang, in which our universe just expands as she unfurls her wings?
If you could, give me the evidence towards that, then yes, I wouldn't see any reason to say no.
If I... Really? So it would just take, like, the tiniest little bit of evidence.
If it was irrefutable, if it was, stone cut, hard evidence for you to say that there's this nebula, there's this
Well, I just had to make sure that I could see something. And I think I found it. Yeah, it does exist. Absolutely. There you go.
I think there are 2 bat nebulas, aren't there?
Yeah, at least.
I need a pig nebula.
That is actually pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool,
JD,
Hello.
hi.
Hello.
Earlier you said that the river was named after the goddess Danu. What if it was the other way around? What if the river brought forth life and abundance, and they named the river Danu, and then from there they got the goddess Danu?
That is also one of the many creation stories within the Goidelic belief system. And I can't argue that, because that is one of the thing is, with my belief system, there isn't just one creation story. It differs according to region. These regions are Leinster, Munster, Ulster and Connacht. Each one have a different variable in terms of the creation story. I believe in the Ulster cycle. Is where I'm from. So, I more aligned to the Ulster, being that it's similar to like Mother Shakti within Hinduism, whereas like I believe it is Munster that would say that the river, everything was born from that. Evolution came from the river. They came from bacteria from that ocean. Many people believe that Danu didn't exist, a region, and that it's actually someone called Don. So to question the belief system that I'm part of has a lot of deconstructing. Anyway, it has a lot of reconstruction. It was romanticized, it was demonized and bastardized by Abrahamic belief system. So it's trying to eliminate what is right, quote unquote, to what is wrong, quote unquote. A lot of our texts were destroyed by St. Patrick during his escapades over to Ireland. There were the Druids that were slaughtered. I can't say that word, that were unalived. So it's not a case of this is the religion I pick and I believe in this religion. It's a lot more to it than just, a belief system.
Yes, but what couldn't I say that about other belief systems that were, say, colonized and torn apart by the Christian faith, and then have some validity in the text, even though maybe not literal?
But again, that would be subjective opinion, no?
Yeah, so what is different from a subjective truth and say a more concrete or truth?
that's a difficult one to answer because I don't believe truth is objective. I don't believe truth can be concrete unless, again, because it can be experienced differently. Like I can give you an example of an objective truth. I can give you an example of a subjective truth. It's neither here or there. Truth is not. It's both.
So how can we know then what is the real truth?
I guess we don't think we can. Again, this is where I'm not the same to like other quote unquote pagans, because I follow religion through a philosophical way, through hermeticism, rather than the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That makes sense.
Yeah, I believe so. So what does this belief bring you? Does it bring you comfort? Does it bring you understanding of the world? Does it make you a better person?
I believe personally it connects me to the root source, which is the earth. It connects me to my ancestors. It connects me through a spiritual way of, like a spiritual connection to the universe, everything around us, can offer comfort. If you're that way in tuned, to me it's connection to the root source. For me it's connection to the earth, it's connection to the ancestors, it's connection to all living things.
What is your harshest criticism of your belief?
My harshest criticism of my belief, why is there so many different variables in terms of regional creation stories? Or why did we eventually allow ourselves to become romanticized by Catholicism? Why didn't we fight harder?
Would you rather believe a comfortable lie or an uncomfortable truth?
Good question. I'd rather, to be honest, an uncomfortable truth, because I don't like to live by lies. If it's a comfortable lie, I'd rather live by an uncomfortable truth.
So how do you determine what's a lie then and what's the truth?
Through subjective opinion. So I could say to you, the sky's purple. And, I can, I've seen that the sky's purple. Is that a truth or is that a lie?
Well, that would be a lie because the truth isn't any color. The sky isn't any color. It's it appears to be blue, but it is colorless.
Yeah. So you would say that is a lie if I say to you that the sky is purple, but then I could tell you that I've tried Trinopia and I do see the sky is a shade of purple. However,
but those moments of seeing the sky purple, are those a reality or are those a lie?
It's my reality. It's my illusion. It's my subjective reality. I see the sky as purple. I see the grass as sometimes a shade of red. So to me, that is my reality. That is where I am. That is my world. Try to know if you would share that envisage, but again, they'd see it differently, like you do, like Hammy does, like Thrayle and Cat do. We'd all see it differently, even if we're looking at the exact same thing. So I'd rather live in an uncomfortable truth where something might appear differently than to a comfortable lie where nothing is 100%.
Could you be wrong? And if so, would you be fine with that?
Yes. Yes. No questions asked. Wrong to what extent? Is that wrong to religion? Is that wrong to like the color of what I see in an apple? In what regard, my friend?
Oh, it's mainly towards your belief in the God.
Yeah. If I'm, on my day that, when my number's called, and if there's something there that I don't believe, was there in my walking life, then yeah, it's like, well shit, I was wrong. Let's say there is some guy with a big long grey beard, and or there is some kind of, I seriously hope there isn't, but if there is like no, I don't want to say that. If there is some other God up there, that the one that I don't believe in, then yeah, I'll be comfortable with that. But for now, this is what I believe, and I'm down for that. I'm convinced myself.
Well, just as a heads up, I have no more questions.
JD, if you woke up tomorrow and found that there was no reason to believe that your God existed, or that any of your mythology was true or worth consideration, what would that change about your life?
Probably nothing, because I'd happily unalive a martyr.
You would unalive your beliefs?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I heard unalive a motto.
A martyr. It might be my accent.
I'm a little confused. You said if you woke up and found out that your beliefs weren't true, then nothing would change because you would
happily unalive.
What does that mean?
Like, if you gave me evidence that it wasn't the truth, then, I'd happily unalive for what I believed was true.
I'm still confused. You would unalive?
I'd rather unalive than convert to anything else.
You'd rather unalive than believe that the faith you practice now is false?
Yes.
Can I ask why? If it was... I'm sorry, Thrayle.
No, that's the perfect question. Why is perfect?
Could I not flip the script and say, would you, if my
No, I'd
beliefs...
prefer you didn't try to flip the script. Asking us about our beliefs isn't going to help you explore yours. It's just helping you evade the question that Bats is asking.
I feel it would be better explained if you thought for yourself on the matter, on the question, rather than me explain what I would feel. It might be better.
Condescending now. What?
No, I'm not condescending. People know me. There's people in here who know me.
So then why don't you repeat what you said so it doesn't sound condescending?
So I could tell you how I would feel, how it would make me feel, but that's me. What if, I then asked you, based on that very principle, if it was my belief in question, and my belief was proven to be true, would you convert?
That question doesn't help you. to question your beliefs, do you see? And it also, again, as I said, evades Bats' question. So why don't you answer Bats' question instead of whatever that weird condescension Uno reverso thing was?
Well, if you want condescending, I'm sorry that you thought that was condescending. That's condescending.
So why then would you want to lie? Why not keep going and find the truth, or find a different belief, or perhaps comfort in no belief?
Because there is no other truth than the truth that I believe in. If you believe in nothing, if you believe in something else, that's fine. That is valid. You are valid to your beliefs. But I wouldn't change from what I believe.
If truth is subjective, as you said it was, then wouldn't your truth just change?
It could do, but every belief is valid.
So then, why would you unalive based on a truth that can change?
Because what I believe is my subjective truth. I believe what I believe to be true.
Right. And so then if you found out that it is not true, then your truth would change. And you would still believe in whatever truth it is. However, it would just not be the same deity. So, back to why then would you unalive for something that can change?
I genuinely don't believe I could answer based on a hypothetical. Because it's a lot of ifs, to be honest, to be brutally honest.
Thrayle, if I ask another question, it's going to be very, very loaded.
I know, it's fine.
No, please.
JD's not actually entertaining the exercise, and for some reason thinks that he's going to win. There's no winning here unless you actually critically think and question your assumptions. Then that's winning, but you didn't do that. So whatever the opposite of winning is what just happened. Good job, JD.
Was it me? Was it me, or did it sound very melodramatic?
It was. He was unalive by his beliefs. It was very... He would be a martyr.
It felt like the freaking romanticized version of like history, where it's like I believe in Jesus Christ and I will unalive for this belief. It's like,
well,
what?
He didn't quite profess it that loudly, but it was just very melodramatic all of a sudden, and then completely closed to questioning. And that's not the spirit of the lie. That's not what clearly I'm tired. Melodramatically proclaim your intended martyrdom for Danu. That was a little odd. Especially when the question was if it were proven to you not to be real. What would you do for it? Oh, I'd unalive for it. I'd absolutely unalive for the belief that's been disproven. Because it's... What?
It's perhaps what Huggy's saying is romanticizing of faith, when in reality, I would hope nobody here or in the comments would unalive over a lack of belief, because a lack of belief is just a room for future beliefs. Not an end, but a beginning.
So I was actually preparing a poem because I'm getting sleepy, and the guests have been sparse. But I didn't want to end on that melodramatic ending. So, hello, Blake. How are you?
Hello, I'm back from the creek, and I have a rock for Martian Yeti.
You're back
For the Martian Fire Yeti.
Yeah, Martian Fire Yeti.
rock for the Yeti.
He did task him on finding a good, pretty rock. You missed it, Blake. Marshall Fire Yeti was up here.
Marshall Fire Yeti.
I heard it, and that's why there was that small, tiny pause between Marshall and Fire. But I said, you know what? We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it.
Apparently, the Marshall Fire Yeti has been deputized. Is that what it is?
Well, in my head, for whatever reason, I saw it as Marshall as an Martial. So he's been militarized.
Oh, militarized Fire Yeti.
Now I'm imagining the exact same profile picture, but with just a headband.
That or ACH.
I don't even know what that is.
This is the Army, so it's Army combat helmet.
I wonder if we'll get one more believer to question before the end.
As you can tell, my impression of military life is from the documentary Rambo.
The documentary Rambo.
Yes. Yes, everyone knows about Rambo.
What an impressive documentary. Well, hello, Six. Welcome back. I think you've been here before, but can you remind me your age?
Yeah, I'm 40.
And do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
I do, yeah.
And what is that belief?
I believe in God and Jesus Christ. I guess you can call me a Gnostic if you was the closest thing to what I believe.
A Gnostic. So do you believe in the demiurge and
Jesus to what I yes.
As an evil entity that believe evil and
a monad above that somewhere.
A monad above that. That's right, monad.
And a divine council.
I see. Which of the gods in the divine council, or was it the monad that set forth the Ten Commandments?
So I don't know if the monad was the one that did the commandments. That could have been the demiurge.
I see.
But the monad probably L. That's what I assume. This is probably L.
So L, the monad, would have set forth the Ten Commandments.
So no, I'm pretty sure the Ten Commandments.
It was the demiurge.
Probably the demiurge.
I see. So the demiurge set forth the Ten Commandments, but the monad sent Jesus.
Yes. Well, Jesus comes from the Pleroma. And I think the monad planted the tree in the garden.
And so the sin that Jesus is atoning for, does that have anything to do with the garden?
So I'm not sure if that's part of the story, like the atonement for sin.
Oh.
I mean, I think he definitely died or unalive or whatever happened to him for us. But like, I think that it's not like for our sins specifically.
Oh, so it had nothing to do with Adam and Eve.
like, so when the monad created the peer level gods, like, he also created Sophia, and she created the Yaldabaoth or the Demiurge. I was going somewhere else with that, but I have ADHD, so.
Why do you believe any of this to be true?
So kind of just the best guess on the story, but I am pretty sure that a god does exist. 99.9.999.
Why are you so certain that a god exists?
I had like a conversation and then like hung out with this god for a few months.
You say you had a conversation with God.
Yeah.
Were you on a substance?
I was on some sacred
So if you're on a substance, why would you think that it is an encounter with a god and not some product of your substance-addled mind?
Because then it like stuck around for a couple months.
Could that not occur from the use of substances?
Theoretically, I suppose that there is a remnants, but it just seemed unlikely. And the things that this thing could do seemed.
Can you
like
give me an
there was more than
example of something that it could actually do to interact with the world and prove it was God?
It seemed like it could literally do anything like a god. Like it could.
Can you give me an example?
Just interact with the world. Anything. Sure, I could give you specifics, but it's gonna, like, all individually, like the specifics don't really add up to much because individually you could probably poke holes in it, but over the 2 months, like
So if
the collection of data.
If each individual story could have holes poked in it, if each individual supposed miracle over 2 months could be discounted in some way or another, then do they actually, by adding them together, do they become greater evidence than they are on their own?
So yeah, because like most people will like use like, oh, that was just coincidence, or that was just.
I didn't say that. I was just saying if you did take each of these instances and found some reasonable explanation for them, would they, just because there are so many, count as some greater evidence?
To me, yes. To others, maybe not.
Why?
Because like I said, most people can say that like certain things are coincidences, but I've asked other people like how many coincidences would it take for you to believe that it really wasn't a coincidence, and some people have said to do with other can't argue with what somebody says they believe like that.
I'm sorry, you're saying because some people say that it would take infinite coincidences, then you limit yourself to a handful of them.
No, I just don't believe that I can. That's why they think that it's not sufficient evidence, because they believe in an
I didn't ask about them though, did I?
I'm not sure
I'm
what.
asking why it's compelling evidence for you.
Because I went through it, I guess, and it was a long period of time, and there was just a great number of experiences, like whether.
You said because you went through it, you guess. So, because you went through what?
Like Casey down there says that you can flip a coin and never get tails. Like.
Okay, I'm done. Does anybody else have questions for this guest?
I'm sorry, I'm boring, bud. I'll let you find somebody else.
Yeah, it was great until you decided to stop answering my questions and answer the comments instead.
I was trying to.
Since you decided to answer them instead, you can move on to them and answer them in text. I tried. I tried.
You really did.
I don't think he's actually open to questioning the beliefs. Sounded like 99.99999% dogmatic certainty. That's a disturbing level of certainty. But
It really is.
You could absolutely preach from the comments, except no, you can't. Oops, that's not something we allow. But you could easily have answered the question in the comments.
You know, Thrayle, 72% of statistics are made up on the spot.
You know, I think it's a much higher percentage. Sounds like you're lowballing the statistic you pulled out of your ass.
I mean, there's a margin of error of 100%.
He says it's 60% of the time it works every time. I feel it coming in the air tonight.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I already thought that you were asleep.
I almost dozed off at one point during one of the previous guests. Somebody Bat was asking questions, and I was soothed, but I didn't allow myself. But I think
Can I be given the voodoo chicken treatment?
you sure can. You sure can. I'm gonna give everyone. Yep, I'm gonna boot everyone from the circle. Appreciate you, Blake, for being here, asking questions and giving insight, as always. And Bats, I appreciate you. Thank you for all your wonderful questions. And Hammy.
Time for me to give my exit speech where I will tell you, you know...
That exit speech, right? That one. Just like that. That was the one. Let's switch back over to this. Just like over to this view. Oh my. Oh my. Oh. I appreciate everybody who tapped the screen wildly and with vigor and much enthusiasm, because all of you are amazing, and I appreciate each and every one of you for participating and helping get us out to the FYP, helping increase the engagement. Maybe I want to be helping live, who used the repost feature, who shared the link with friends or pastors or pastors or family of somebody who questioned their beliefs or came something they could do. Thank you to all the people who chatted and shared their thoughts, their questions, their thoughts, their questions, their doubts. Thank you to everybody. Some people, even you, you were here. Thank you, while you were here. Appreciate each and every one of you for helping out, helping set the tone, and each and every one of you, everything just a little bit more respectful than it would be without you. Thank you. And thank you to everybody who helped with the gift goals. I think, I thought I had a segue. Thank you to everybody who is part of this community, whether you have been for a while. There is a way to see what we get up to behind the scenes. Challenge one of us to chess or Wordle, or just hang out and listen to jams in the voice chat. We have a Discord link in my bio or in the Batcolyte's bio. You'll want to take that link tree and follow the first link to the Discord. You also want to make sure you go to the rules page and read the rules. And if you can agree to those, well, then you should find out that you're not alone. You should find out that you're not alone. And if you stumble across the Venmo or the Cash App and you want to show your support that way, well, it is always noted. And I really do thank everybody who helps that way. It really makes all the difference. But thank you all for being here. And on that, I think there really is only one thing left. I ask you where your answer lives. You point as if the proof is near, but every step your story gives is shaped to silence doubt, not fear. I try to press the edge a bit to see what stands when claims on step is told. But every time a question hits, you guard the tale you've always told. I watch you clutch what feels like truth, a brittle shield you will not test. You say you seek the honest proof, yet never let it touch your chest. You speak as though your knowing's sure, as though you've walked a widened view, speak view that won't hold even you. And here I stand, still reaching out, not to tear your meaning down, not to tear your king. Why a single doubt can turn your calm assurance cold, as if one crack would break the whole. So tell me this, if truth is strong, if what you trust is truly right, why does it tremble at a question spoken gently in the night? And on that note, until the next time we meet in darkness and seek wisdom together, I love you all. Take care.